of easy night. And today is Friday night. Despite the cold, we are still heading towards the Geminid. And we are bundled up today for this spectacular Geminid meteor shower. We are about to go to one village. This is the village of Juren. Because here we can have a very open view of the sky, and many cultivated people come out of this village in history. And today we have this special mix of guests. They have totally different professions, but still you can find some links between their professions. Yue comes from the University of Aviation, and they come from the same major. I have a lot of friends coming from this major of automation. And the reason why we have invited the two guests with us today is because you know a lot of knowledge about sciences, especially the sciences about the space. And today we have chosen this spot to view the Geminid, and the difference of this year's Geminid from the previous years. Every year, around the 14th of December, we can have a shower of the Geminid. And the largest obstacle to view the Geminid is the moonlight. If you have too much moonlight, then you will not be able to see the whole picture. We know it's quite romantic to walk in the moonlight, but if you want to see the stars, especially the shooting stars, you should have an environment with rarely moonlight. Today the conditions are not the best. At the very beginning, we thought that there's no big thing to see. But after arriving here, after turning off all the lights, we could still find very beautiful scenery in the sky, all those constellations. So now I'm still looking forward for that Geminid to come. And just now we have also discussed the ways to measure the length of the tails of the shooting stars. And you will hear people shouting outside the vehicle, and then by each shouting you will know that there's one shooting star streaking by. Today, please stay with us in our communication platform. While watching the shooting stars, you can leave your stories, and we will choose the best stories and give you small gifts. There's also photo taking competition. Everyone could try your best to take nice photos about the shooting stars. You could also use your imagination while taking the photos together with your friends, your parents, your family members, and you can share these photos with us. There will also be a quiz about the question and answers. We will pick some interesting questions to make the quiz. If you can answer to those questions, then you will also be awarded by the gifts. I have a question for you too. Actually, there are also meteor showers in summer. So what is the difference between the summer showers and winter showers? Today we have this Geminid shower. It's always in the autumn and winter season. We have 3 major shooting stars showers, 2 in winter and 1 in summer. There are advantages and disadvantages of each season to admire the meteor showers. Because in winter it's just too cold for us to stay outside to watch the streaking by of those shooting stars. So in summer it's much better because of the climate and the outdoor temperature. You can also have some fresh drinks. In summer days, it will be very hot during the daytime, but in the evening it's always cool and pleasant to stay outside. But there's one problem with the summertime. You will have the mosquitoes. In Beijing, if you want to watch the meteor shower in the mountain area, then you can never get rid of those mosquitoes. There's another disadvantage. With the summer period, you have very short period of nighttime. So there's only limited window time for you to admire those shooting stars. To the contrary, in winter days, the temperature is very low. Everyone's bundled up. We want to stay inside the vehicle, but you cannot watch the shooting stars by staying inside. And for those who are brave enough to lie down in the outdoor environments, they will be frozen up. When you come to the watching spot by 7 p.m., the night has already arrived, and you will have a lot of chance to take beautiful photos about those shooting stars. In a moment, we will bring you outside. At the same time, you can have some footages of Qingdao and also in Xinjiang. Now everyone is looking up to the sky and they are waiting for the shooting stars. And today we also have 2 stars with us in this vehicle, our 2 guests. And today we have also a lot of knowledge to share with you about those meteor showers. Just now we have talked about the difference of watching the shooting stars in summer and in winter. And now we come to the first round of quiz. We have prepared some questions. The first question, to watch the shooting stars, what should you prepare? First, binocular. Second, umbrella. Third, sunglass. And 4, loved ones. And the 5th one, none of all those above. I'd like to read the notes. I will repeat the question. Necessary things for the shower. The first one is binoculars, the second one is umbrella, and the third one is the sunglass, and 4th one is the loved ones. and the fifth one is none of the above. I'd like to read the notes and messages left on our platform. I would like to, someone saying I'd like to meet my Mr. Right. And another one leaving a message saying that he would like to invite our moderator to sing the song. Before my marriage, my husband, by then my boyfriend, told me that he would bring me to one show of the meteor shower. But actually, the first man who brought me to a meteor shower was our colleague, Mr. Ma. It was last month, and Mr. Ma has also taken a photo of that. And what about you, Yue Yue? What is your first time to watch the meteor shower? I'm single, but I have two good friends. They're also single. We cannot watch the meteor shower with our loved ones, but still we can watch that with our friends. We went to the southern hemisphere to a lake, a very famous town in the southern hemisphere. It was in New Zealand. In January, it was not very cold there. And we were lying down on the ground and we started to count the stars. And we were watching the Milky Way. We spent the whole night watching the stars and the Milky Way. And then we got up by 5 a.m. the other morning. And we have noticed the Mercury not very far away from the moon. Next time, I'd like to go with you for this wonderful project. Later, we will go out of the vehicle to give better views of the meteor shower to our viewers. Other people are telling their stories on the platform. They left a message, and some said that they had the first experience of the meteor shower with their roommates in university. And it's better to bring some expert with you to watch the meteor shower. For example, today we have Mr. Ma. Actually, the meteor shower, those objects, they were the dusts and debris coming from the outer space. I asked a lot of people, how big is the shooting star? So the answer is actually the small rocks forming the meteor shower. They are very small, no bigger than a particle of sand. Those are the very bright shooting stars already. For those even smaller ones, smaller than a particle of the sand, they can not be very bright, and usually they will be ignored by the people. And I'd like to give you some explanations about the previous quiz. The necessary objects for watching the meteor shower. The correct answer is the last one, none of the above. I'd like to give you the explanations about each option. The first option, binoculars. You don't need binoculars. When we talk about space, many people will immediately think about using the binoculars. However, you should not use the binoculars. If you use that, you can see nothing actually, because the scope will be so limited that it will be really hard for you to notice the shooting stars. And usually some shooting stars can have really long tails. So you cannot use the binoculars nor the telescope to limit the scope of your viewing. So the best way to watch the meteor shower is use your bare eyes. And the second option is also wrong, umbrella. You don't use the umbrella. And the sunglass, the third option, is wrong. In 2018, there was a big event with the Mars, but it was too bright. You cannot use your bare eyes to see that. So immediately I wore my sunglasses. And that was good. But today, to watch the meteor shower, you don't use the sunglasses. And the fourth option is your loved ones. If you are in a relationship, then you must take this option. But if you are single, then for you, the correct answer is the fifth one, none of the above. And another question. The best position to watch the meteor shower. On this photo, people are lying down. It's very easy to watch the meteor shower. You can take a cushion, and you can also choose to use a deck chair. It's possible that the meteor shower appear from all the directions in the sky. The only thing you could do is to make your eyes relax. You don't have to make yourself too tense. And also you can be equipped with some mosquito repellent incense, just in case. And also on the picture, there are 2 bottles of water to show you that you can just relax, calm yourself down, and choose the most comfortable position to watch the meteor shower. Some people would like to take a sip of alcohol or coffee. However, we believe that alcohol or caffeine would affect your sight. And people started shouting outside. Usually when you are observing the space, you cannot take coffee nor wine because the alcohol and caffeine would impact your sight so that you cannot notice those more obscure stars or obstacles from the space. Some other tips for people to watch the meteor shower after so much information. Perhaps we can bring people out. So we have already missed one shooting star. And many people are leaving us the messages urging us to go outside to watch the meteors. So it's very cold outside. We have to recharge the battery of our equipment. So here, please follow me. Let's check on others. So the Star Watchers, they are familiar with this scene. Many people lying down on the ground to watch the sky, and everyone is bundled up. How many stars have you observed? 2 very bright ones. Would you want to say hello to our audience? It's very cool outside. How many have you observed? I've observed now. I have not yet observed any because I was focused on this part of the sky. I think usually the shooting stars will come when you are distracted with your mobile phone or your camera or other equipments. I have observed 3 shooting stars. It's the first time for me to see the shooting stars. It just surprised me. I thought I missed another shooting star. Later, we also will lie ourselves down. Have you made a wish? I forgot. So according to people's personal experience, usually you will forget to make the wish when there's a shooting star streaking by. Is it the first time for you to observe the shooting stars? Yes. But it was so cold. Oh, what's your feeling about the shooting stars? I've observed 4 to 5 of them. What is your experience? You have to leave your mobile phone aside. And this lady is like the Sleeping Beauty. I have observed 2 of the shooting stars. What is your feeling about that? I think that is amazing. Then by the first shooting star, I made a wish that I could have more shooting stars to see tonight. Actually, I think we are missing more shooting stars now. Did you have this experience with the shooting stars in your childhood? Yes. Yes, my grandpa brought me to the museum and also to the planetarium. And I asked for 1,000 of times before my father would buy me a pair of binoculars. And I started to observe the planets, and including the moon. I was in primary school then. The first time I have seen the surface of the moon and also the dark side of the moon. That was wonderful, and it was totally different experience. And from the tone, you can tell that it's really cold and freezing outside. What about our camera now? You can see the monitoring screen here. You can see the stars there. And now we are in the Mentogo district of Beijing, in the suburb area of Beijing. For us ordinary people, we will just say that we have so many bright stars. But for you, the professionals, you know all the names of the constellations. And each of the constellation is named after a famous person now. And talking about the meteor shower, we use the word shower, so it's more than one shooting star. If we draw a picture of the constellation, you will see that there is the radiation. If you go back to the starting point, and you will find a radiance. So all the shooting stars emanate from the same radiance. So all those shooting stars emanating from the same radiance and going towards all the different directions, they can be considered as the meteor shower. And could you tell which is or where is the Geminid constellation? First, you have to find the location of the moon. To the left, and lower of the side of the moon, you will find two very bright stars. Mr. Ma has a very magical pen. He can use it to show our constellation position. You can even tell that a plane is flying by. And also, we have met one plane stricken by with a tail, and we mistook the plane for a shooting star. So that brightest one is the moon, towards its left and to the lower part. Those two brightest stars are the two heads of the twin babies, the two major stars of the Geminid constellation. And you have two pairs of feet, the 4 feet over there. 1, 2, 3, 4 over there. So together that is the constellation of the Gemini. And now we are looking for the radiance. I'd like to draw a shooting star. If it is flying like that, then it is not coming from the Gemini. Because when you trace back with its tail, it will not be ended by the radiance inside the Gemini constellation. So that's how we tell if one meteor shower belongs to the Gemini or not. So for all the shooting stars belonging to the same meteor shower, they have the similar rate, similar speed, and also similar characteristics. So today we have not only the Geminid, but also the meteor shower from other constellations too. We are more focused on the major meteor showers. For the others, minor meteor showers, they are less visible. If we include all the meteor showers, every year we can have more than 100 of them. It means that nearly for every day of the year, you can have at least one same of meteor shower, but sometimes it's invisible or you cannot notice that. So we are all frozen up. Maybe we could go back to the vehicle and have some more chat inside. It's so warm inside. I cannot feel my fingers now. It's all frozen. I could help you with the microphone. I'd like to put on my gloves. Just now we have talked about the naming of the meteor shower. It always comes from the name of the constellation. And Mr. Ma has talked about several rounds of major meteor shower across the year. I'd like to ask you a question. Which of the meteor shower in the history has been named after constellation? Which of the constellation has had one abolished meteor shower, but they did have one period of meteor shower? People were asking me when the meteor shower would come. And other people are asking if we are waiting for the UFO. And some other people are asking us whether we have made the wishes already. And tomorrow there will be the exam for the CET6 English degree examination, so we will make the wish for you. And people were discussing about the answers about the question. And they have made totally different answers. The correct option is A. Every year we have 3 major rounds of the meteor shower, among which the Geminid and another is the quadrant meteor shower. So the quadrant is actually not the name of a constellation, but it's a name used to describe that meteor shower in ancient times. The correct name is the June Bootes. And just now we also mentioned that for the meteor shower coming from the same constellation, they share the same characteristics, for example, the same rate, same speed. So now I'd like to use some more pictures to give you explanations. First of all, for every period of the meteor shower, it's connected with one comet or with one asteroid. So this is a picture of the solar system. You have some orbits representing the planets. And there's one oval orbit, that is the orbit of a comet. For some accidental reasons, this comet has come into the solar system. Some of the orbits is a closed one, so after a certain period of time, this comet would repeat its visit into the solar system. But if it is an open orbit, then it's only a one-time pass. For the comet, people would like to describe it as a snowball. Covered by particles, sands, rocks, dusts, and so many different objects are frozen together to cover the surface of the comet. But when it moves towards the part of the solar system, then the surface would be melting down and all the particles and dusts will be released. So if we look at it closer than when the comet comes closer to the solar system, especially closer to the sun, then particles started to be detached from the surface of the comet, and this means so many dusts and particles and objects will be left on the route of the orbit, left behind by this comet, and sometimes the orbit of the Earth will be overlapped with that of the comet. So you can find two meeting spots here. Sometimes you have one meeting spot, and sometimes you can have two of them. So it means when the comet comes and make a turn around the sun, sometimes it can have two meeting spots with the orbit of the Earth. And then there comes a moment when the Earth comes to the point of the meeting spots with the orbit of that of the comet, and then the Earth will be entering into the dusts left by the comet, and then all the dusts and particles will be falling down towards the ground of the Earth just like a shower. And because the density of the dust and particles is very low, so when the Earth is passing by that layer of the dust, sometimes in a period of 1 minute or two, you can observe only 1 to 2 shooting stars. And also the perspectives should also be explained here. Even though all the dusts, they are distributed in a parallel way, but when the Earth is passing through that layer of the dust, it gives you the sensation that all the shooting stars, they are streaking by towards all different kind of directions. And if you trace back according to their own traces and tails, they will go to the same radiant, that point of the light. And the difference of the Geminid from the other meteor shower is that the origin of the dusts of the Geminid comes from an asteroid instead of a comet. As long as I know, there is no other meteor shower that is formed from the dust of an asteroid. All the others come from the dust of the comet. So maybe we can give another quiz to our viewers. The third question. The reason why we give the name Geminid to this particular meteor shower. First, the meteor shower appears in the constellation Geminid. Second, it belongs to the people born in the constellation Geminid. I'd like to repeat. The third, that the shooting stars come from the direction of the Geminid, and the fourth is that at the moment of the meteor shower, the sun is in the Geminid constellation position. People have made different choices. And someone chose the last option, saying that the sun is now in the position of the Geminid constellation. And someone chose the option A. The meteor shower appears in the constellation Geminid. Actually, for the meteor shower of the Geminid constellation, the shooting stars can appear in all different kind of positions of the sky, and they may move towards different directions. Did you hear people shouting outside? People started to grow impatient because they are so eager to see those shooting stars. So the correct answer to that previous question is option C. The shooting stars are emanating from the direction of the constellation Geminid. So you have to find the radiance of the shooting stars in order to tell which constellation they belong. So the shooting stars, they are very special phenomenon we can have from the space. People are usually asking the question, when would the shower come? So that I will be precise in time and I can go outdoor exactly the moment when there's the shooting star. Actually, we can have very precise prediction of all those astronomical phenomena. And one interesting with the meteor shower is that when you hear the shouting of the other people and you start to look at the sky, you're already missing one. As we mentioned before, the shooting stars are a kind of extraordinary and special astronomical phenomenon. For all the other astronomical phenomena, you can give a prediction, but there's one exception here. You cannot tell when and where it will come. we can only predict a window time for the peak of the shooting stars. You can only tell that between what time and what time on which day that you can have the peak coming for the shooting stars, but you cannot tell exactly at what moment the shooting stars would start their show. And it is also said that you have to be 100% focused on the sky. In that case, you can have the luck to see the meteor shower. If you are distracted by other things like the mobile phone and all those messages, then definitely you will be missing so many shooting stars. And our viewers, they are waiting impatiently for those shooting stars to come. Some people have noticed, and some other people not. So when you are following our program today, please stay tuned and stay focused. For other live stream programs, you can do other things at the same time. You can chat with the other people, you can do your homework while listening to those live stream programs. But you have to be definitely focused in this live stream program with the meteor shower, because you won't want to miss any of the shooting stars. So you have mentioned that you have a personal story about missing the shooting stars. Did I? Okay, I explained that already. You have to be 100% focused when you are following a live stream program about the shooting stars. In recent years, annually we will follow the 3 major showers of the meteor. Around the year 2000s, people were more interested in the Leonid. And dating back to 1833 and 1866, there were 2 large breakouts of the shooting stars. But Leonids were so different from the Geminid. Leonids would not come every year. It will only appear every 33 years. So that is like a cycle. So we have had 2 big rounds of meteor shower of the Leonid in 1833, 1866, and the following one is 1899. So that will reappear by a circle of 33 years. And we are looking forward to the next 33rd year. And dating back to the year 2001, we also had a large meteor shower. That was really a wonderful, extraordinary one. a big one of Leonid back to 2001. Have you had the chance to watch the meteor shower of the Leonids dating back to 2001? Back then, in 2001, I was only 8 years old, so I cannot remember. And by then, even digital cameras are not popularized. Not too many people have that. And there's one scientist who had watched the 1866 meteor shower of the Leonid. And then one day he had the chance to see that meteor shower, and the whole astronomical phenomenon has moved this person so deeply that he has decided to become an astronomer. And China has a long history of the country, and people have kept a very good record of all the curious astronomical phenomenon. And I have even brought a book with me. All the historical records from the ancient times of China about the shooting stars. And ancient people have used interesting words to describe the meteor shower. And in ancient China, we already started to use the meteor shower, the terminology to describe this astronomical. In 2001, our viewer Jinger has experienced that meteor shower with her classmates. And there's another viewer has counted 3,000 of the shooting stars in 2001. And another person leaving a message saying that is not yet born by that year, 2001. And there's another message from Jinger. And from Zhiming, in 2001, they were in high school. When the shooting stars came, everyone's outdoor in the playground to watch the meteor shower. I still remember that day in 2001, that night with the meteor shower. Everyone's outside the dormitory and watched the shooting stars throughout the night. And this is the book that I was talking about. The historical record about the meteor showers and other astronomical phenomena. And the meteor shower is considered a major event about the space. And it is written that Sima Yi, one famous historical personnel, has noticed one very bright shooting star. And also during the dynasty of the South and the North, Zhuge Liang has also noticed the meteor shower. At that moment, they call the shooting stars the long-tail stars. And they were staying in the camp outside in the open air, and the meteor shower came and the shooting stars arrived in their camps. So beautiful, those meteor showers, that everyone's noticed that. I was too excited. I would try my best to keep my voice low. And another recit from the history, when two armies met and they started to fight, and that exact moment the meteor shower started. And in Western culture, people say that when there's one shooting star, it means there's one person in this world has just died. So both in the Chinese culture and in the Western culture, people are linking the astronomical phenomenon, the things from the sky, with the events in this real world of the humankind. Because in ancient times, people don't have enough scientific knowledge to support our observation, so we use our imagination to try to explain all those astronomical phenomena. And there's another paragraph from our historical receipts saying that the shooting star is as big as a duck. But this is so interesting, this curious wording, as big as a duck. And also other descriptions like as big as a peach. So people are using familiar objects. And also as big as the moon. So people are using those ordinary things, familiar things, to give explanations easy to understand. And some other explanations like the shooting stars as big as the eggs, as chicken eggs, as goose eggs, etc. So different sizes of eggs can give you an idea of the different size of the shooting stars. And just now, Mr. Ma has shared with us the stories of the shooting stars from the ancient period. I'd like to read you a poem about the stars. There's one question. About your name. Because you have the character moon in your name, so people are wondering whether the name of yours had something to do with the sky or with the outer space. So I'd like to read the poem. So it's a poem in English.
I look up at the star. I look up at the starry sky. I look up at the star. So marvelous. I look up at the starry sky. The eternal flame, marvelous, kindles flame of hope. Eternal flame, kindles which sounds of hope, sweet my heart. 其实是一种这个翻译过来的诗啊，其实是一种中文诗。哎，这个翻译过来的诗啊，其实是一种中文诗。
So actually, it's a Chinese poem translated into English, and people are loving it. And so many people are discussing about your wonderful voice and pronunciation. This poem is about looking up towards the sky. The name of the poem is actually the name of the word that we use for the article in the college examination. So Yue is giving the Chinese version of that poem. He just read in English. It's a very powerful poem. So maybe I should have read it in a more powerful way. And some people are giving some reactions to the records from the histories from the ancient times. And they're also amazed by the ancient people using the familiar objects to describe the shooting stars. I also love the pronunciation and the high quality of the voice of Yue. I studied in Scotland. So what's the difference between the Scotland accent and English accent? They also have different wording. For example, wee man means a little man. They have a kind of the dialect. Because you have such good English levels, could you please give us some English lessons about the stars? Let's do it this way. Because in the night, when you look up to the sky, you can have endless imagination. You will be encouraged to set free your imagination, and in such way you can be free to create, and we can think about the Starry Night of Van Gogh. And people have also studied that Starry Night of Van Gogh, and he has used really bright colors of white and yellow, and those large planets, they are not the sun, but according to the results of the studies, is Venus. We still remember the people we have interviewed before. They have left aside their daily work and they have spared some hours to lie down on the ground and give themselves some moments of relaxation. A very simple melody. Would you like to be my star? So when you look at this vast sky, this tremendous thing, you will think about the loved ones, your family members. My grandma passed away very early, so the other family members told me that if I miss my grandma, I could try to look up to the sky, and the brightest star is her. So we want this kind of a company. People are always curious about the sky, and people have endless curiosity about outer space. We always want to explore the unknown places. It's useless to study about all those faraway places, but it's always in useless things that we can discover poetry and beauty. And near this place of Mentogo district, we have discovered ancient people 10,000s of years ago. So back then, the people there in that moment may be observing the same stars, but the light came tens of thousands of years ago. So today, the light of the stars that we can observe now come from the stars hundreds or thousands of light years away. For those farther than that, maybe it's impossible for us to observe their light. So to a larger dimension, the definition of time and distance and space can be totally different from our understanding. And we have never stopped this discussion about the relations of all those elements like time and distance. Men have already landed on the moon. But still, when we consider that distance between Moon and Earth in the whole dimension of the universe, that distance is too small. We have used a computer to simulate one ray of light from the sun. When the ray is emanated from the sun and we go with that trace of the light, and you will look back and find the sun becoming smaller and smaller. You have to travel so many years to meet the first stars. If you want to travel with light from the sun to the Saturn, you have to wait for so many years. When you travel with the light and you start your journey from the sun, you have to wait for nearly 8 minutes with the speed of the light to reach the Earth. If you watch that video, you can tell how far away the sun is from our Earth. Even you can travel with the speed of the light, it will still take you 8 minutes from the sun to the Earth. There's also one computer game, about the wandering in the universe. In the game, everyone has a space flighter. And this flighter will bring you to different places of the universe and help you to explore the unknown environment in outer space. I'd like to recommend this game to you because you are an astronomy lover. And could you please sing the song a bit more for us? While watching the shooting stars, we can hear to your song.
先这么做吧，紧张了，没有很好，
都录了下来，
有点冷，有点抖。
而且是在车里听，然后那个共鸣会特别棒。我觉得那个共鸣。
That is the first time for me to hear the live from a singer and also inside the vehicle. I was busy sharing all those knowledge about the shooting stars. Later, I can have some personal moments to enjoy the shooting stars. So let's go outside and have some wonderful moments of the shooting stars. Because later we have to close our live stream programs. This district of Mentogo is so far away from downtown areas, so we still have to hurry back to the city after this live stream program. Sorry for triggering that alarm.
要把这个好了，可能刚刚开门的方式不对哈。好了，哇，我们现在刚刚开门的方式不对。看一下外面。哇，我们现在他们就一直这样躺着吗？他们就一直这样躺着吗？
So those people, they are lying all the way until now.
最后还想让马老师给大家分享一下这个拍这个流星的技巧。让马老师给大家比如说要调这个拍这个流星的技巧。
And finally, we'd like to invite Mr. Ma to share with us some tips about the shooting star photo taking. First of all, the moment. You cannot predict the place or the timing of the shooting stars. You have to try your luck. If you want to take a photo of the shooting star, and it is highly recommended for you to use the wide angle lens. For the shutter, you can set it between 10 to 30 seconds. For the aperture, you have to go to the maximum. And also for the photo sensibility, the maximum too. But that is a plane. Because the trace of the tail of the flight was lit up by the moonlight, we can take out our cushion so we can lie down too. Let's join the others. Here we are. How many have you observed now? So we can all lie down. I'd like to talk about their clothes. How many clothes have you put on? Layers after layers. We like to pay tribute to our cameraman because he even didn't have any gloves. So I think after a few minutes he can no longer feel his fingers. So let me take the microphone because I have my gloves. So let's lie down to see the stars. This is the wonderful, most extraordinary experience that I had in my live stream. Program record What's your feeling, Yue Yue? Actually, we are literally looking up to the sky. You have the whole sky in front of you. And you feel like floating in the mid-air. And Mr. Ma, how many times have you tried to watch the sky like this? Rarely like this in recent years. Usually I was busy taking photos of the shooting stars. I have one camera for the shooting star and some other equipments for the other phenomenon. When I was in school, I used the phones to make pictures of the shooting stars. And I was with a lot of friends to take the pictures. And by then, we had a notebook with us. I thought I was the one. But it was not. Back then, we have noted all the data about the shooting stars, and then we sent it to the International Organization of the Meteor Shower. And when they publish the report of the meteor shower, they will put my name on it, and I was so proud of it. So talking about my notes, I had noted down to what constellation they belong, in what color they appear, with what speed, and the characteristics. So because it's quite late now, we'd like to say goodbye to you in this way. We are looking up to the sky and we are down to earth. We'd like to bring you best wishes for the new year 2020. We hope that all your dreams would come true. And I hope that next time you will also stay tuned with us with our live stream program. So bye bye, dear friends. See you next time. And good night to you all. You can still have the pictures of these meteor showers. And you can continue to leave us messages on our platform. And it's also the first time for me to watch the meteor shower in this way. And just now we have also shared with you all the messages and information about the shooting star. And now I'd like to leave everything aside and have a quiet moment with the meteor shower. We'd like to wish you a very pleasant observation of the shooting stars and also good night to you.